What motivated me to join today was really being able to learn more about how real estate and HR issues and what we do with interior spaces and supporting the kind of behaviors that CEOs are looking for. So we're really trying to look at how we can impact engagement at all generations within the workplace.
I was motivated to attend this session first off because it's a fantastic panel. Some real diverse perspective that we're going to get to the subject matter, and secondly, the subject matter itself. In the business that I'm in, I work with a lot of Gen Yers, but also because of the industry that I'm working within, I work with a lot of baby boomers. And I myself am a Gen Xer, so I'm sort of in the middle in this forgotten generation. So I'm really excited and passionate about supporting the different generations within the workplace.
What motivated me to participate this morning in being a panelist was the fact that the work that I do is really about understanding culture and understanding how organizations work together and how people participate and engage in those organizations. So the topic of generational values and how they impact organizational change management, is something that really speaks to me, and I think it's important, especially with all the changes that are happening these days and the quick pace of life and work. It's important to stay on top of culture and on top of how organizations are functioning to the best that they can.
What made me want to participate today was the subject matter, which is workspace or corporate real estate. It's a subject matter that's of great interest to me as the CEO of Allied Properties REIT. We specialize in providing workspace to our tenants. So it was really the subject matter more than anything else that appealed to me, although the opportunity to speak with this group of people is also very attractive.
I think the motivations for me were really to extend my network and talk to some of my peers about some of the industry changes that are happening around both employees and full real estate specifically. And it's an interesting, diverse panel that they've got, because they've got some people that are directly involved in real estate and other ones that really are not. But they're still connected to real estate in some form or fashion.
My expectations of today's event is really an open dialogue between different perspectives of how the work environment and real estate can help and impact companies today. And what I'd like to take away from today is really an understanding of different points of view that I may not have exposure to on a regular basis.
What I hope to take away are some learnings that others have experienced and how they've handled different situations.
I expect that today will be interactive and engaging. I hope that the audience will go away with some new ideas, some new potentially belief systems or understandings of how to improve the workplace and how to sort of work with it or design for it. What I hope to take away from it is a new perspective, hearing the other panelists speak. The real estate industry is not necessarily what my specialty is, so I'm interested in hearing other people's perspectives and creating new connections and meeting new people today.
Today's event will provide everybody with many different perspectives on workspace and many different attitudes towards how workspace can make a difference in people's lives and in people's productivity and in people's innovative capabilities. So I think everyone will come away with a better understanding of workspace in today's economy.
Ultimately, I hope to just take away a little bit of knowledge from someone else and someone else's ideas that I can apply to our own world. Other things I always look for in these is a good chance to network with people in a smaller, more intimate environment. It's so much easier than going to big conferences where you've got 500 people and you're trying to network through.
I really loved the panel discussion and the different perspectives that people brought. I love when Courtney can bring sort of a perspective of an anthropologist and compare that to Michael's ideas of why people are moving back to the urban core. So I think there was a great collaboration and layering on everybody's ideas, and I think that was a great way of bringing a broad spectrum to similar problems.
I thought this session was great this morning. It was very dynamic, really interesting perspectives, and provided a lot of food for thought about the future of real estate and where we need to go in terms of our human capital.
I think this morning's session went really well. The audience was engaged. We had a lot of different perspectives, but complementary perspectives from Keith and Michael and Lisa and myself. So I think overall it was an informative and engaging conversation.
This morning's session was extremely broad-ranging because of the diverse composition of the panel, which I thought was great. The interaction between the members of the panel and the moderator was terrific. The questions from the audience were also very helpful, and I think we covered every aspect of the subject, corporate real estate, that could possibly be covered over the course of an hour and a half.
That was really good, actually. It's interesting to have not just a panel of real estate people, but people from different perspectives, different walks. And certainly, our business is much different than Michael's in terms of what our real estate is and what we look for. So, I think that adds a really interesting dimension to a common thread or a common conversation. So, bringing clearly different perspectives, putting a different lens on it is, I think, is a fabulous opportunity.
That's a great question. The captivating moment is just everybody sort of layering on each other's ideas, that it was somewhat seamless. Michael's an amazing speaker and very insightful on sort of how Gen X can play within today's real estate market. But I also love the idea of Gen Flex and that it doesn't really matter from what generation that you're in. So I think it's really about supporting people and thinking about the place in which that needs to happen. I don't know that there was one sort of defining moment. I just think the morning itself was sort of a building on itself, and I think that is really sort of a telltale of great collaboration.
There was many. I mean, I think the whole conversation was captivating. I think the most captivating was when Michael took it down from us talking about these generations to it really being about the people, the individual, and how, yes, we have these generations that can define, but it's really individuals that we're looking for.
So one of the most captivating moments that I really enjoyed this morning was when Michael talked about Gen Flex, and that really Gen Flex is not something new. It's not something that all the marketers and media are talking it up to be. It's actually something that's existed for a long time, and that it's just personalities and key people who have those visionary abilities and the ability to sort of be disruptive is what really matters. So instead of boxing people in to a group or generation, I think it's really about the individuals.
Well, the most captivating moment probably for me was the amount of engagement from the audience after the panel had made the presentation. There was the initial reluctance, which you always experience in the question period, but once that was passed, there was a succession of excellent questions, which in some respects were inspiring, both in terms of the questions and the fact that the audience was very well engaged.
I think, probably the most captivating and most disturbing was the whole comment about men and women and, which ones get recognized for working late and which ones don't. Clearly a disturbing comment to see. I'm sure it's an accurate statement, but I think that's something that I'll certainly take away from this, and be far more cognizant of it, just to be careful you don't fall into a similar trap.
I'd love to see what's next. If the next story or the next conversation is about women, I think that's something kind of close to my heart. But I think that just being able to come together and share different perspectives on any topic that we can all take back and share with our own customers, I think adds value to what we do. And I think that's really what the whole purpose is to come away with newer information than when we arrived. And so even though I was a panelist, for me, I learned something from each of the other panelists that I think is inspired me to spend time with them outside of this environment, which I think this is what the whole goal is.
Absolutely. I think this is a fantastic thing that Matrix is doing. And I think it's such a needed conversation in real estate. So I'm really pleased to see the leadership that Matrix is taking in opening up these conversations to this diverse group of real estate industry professionals.
I will attend phase 2 in the series. Real estate, again, is not sort of my expertise, but I'm always really curious and interested to learn about new industries, and I think design thinking, the work that I do at Idea Couture, can really be applicable in this industry.
I'll happily attend phase 2 of the series, provided I'm invited.
Well, we'll have to see what it's about and make sure I don't have a conflict, but certainly that's my plan, is to attend it. I think interesting group of people here. I think the topic is interesting. I think just hearing from it from very different perspectives is really highly valued from my perspective.